A very good morning to one and all. Welcome to Future Vista.
The panels will discuss the changes and growth in the respective sectors along with the emerging new age career opportunities. This will help the young minds choose the right career path for themselves and also industries to build new enthusiastic entrepreneurs and a passionate workforce, paving the way for pioneering innovations and futuristic ideas.
We recognize the growth opportunities in various sectors for the youth. We understand that evolving technology is paving the way for career paths that did not exist even a few years ago. Hence, our constant endeavor has been to enlighten the youth with emerging career opportunities and provide them with courses which would get them the required skill set for joining their respective industries. Future Vista is organized with a similar aim to provide a comprehensive platform to creative young minds. This session is specially organized and dedicated to those who want to create a career in the animation, graphics and gaming industries.
So I'll start with Shankha sir. Shankha sir, first of all, very congratulations for your graphic novel on Mahabharata. A lot of our students, actually mostly the first year students, are extremely good with painting, and they are very keen in painting, doodling. They all the time in our canteen and everywhere, if they get a chance, they will just cover you with paintings and everything. So first of all, very congratulations for Mahabharata series. So we just want to know how this process started, and what is the, I think there is a third edition to that as well. So just can you please tell us about the journey?
I was in Delhi for 8 years and I used to work in a company that is solely dedicated to graphic novel. And we used to adopt classic stories like Heracles or Hercules or Wind in the Willows, Count of Monte Cristo, or Eros and Psyche. These are like my published book. So after a certain point of time, I thought that I had developed some sort of zeal to tell my own stories. And I thought that I should tell some stories that is directly connected with my culture and my own life. And I'm a huge fan of mythology and Mahabharata stories from the very beginning, since my childhood. So I started working on Mahabharata. So it all started in 2010, I think. And I left my job in 2013. I came back Kolkata to work on my project on Mahabharata. And of course, there in Delhi, when they were paying me good, and here when I, after passing my college, I went to Delhi, so I had no idea about the scenario of Kolkata. I thought I would do some freelance work and all. And after coming here, I realized that it's not that much work is left for me. Maybe for some other people, there are a lot of works, but I was still looking for some work. But again, I was very much keen to work on Mahabharata. And 2 years, I was sitting idle I was doing nothing. And I was only going to the museum, studying and reading books, because Mahabharata is a big text, large text. So I contacted with Shivaji Bandyopadhyay. He's a renowned scholar in Eastern India. He had been in Jadavpur University in comparative literature, and then he is a kind of scholar of Marxism, Freud, mythology, linguistic, all these things. So I just contacted him to learn something about how to read mythology properly. So he introduced me this critical edition that is been published by Pune Bhandakar Institute, and it's a 26-volume Mahabharata, largely 30 volumes. it's a big Mahabharata, like volumes. So if you arrange critical edition, it will start from here and it will fill up the full table one by one. And the Sanskrit is not very cheesy. It's not the Sanskrit that we learn nowadays, because I learned Sanskrit in Noida when I was in Delhi. Hence I wanted to work on Mahabharata. I am a kind of person who research a lot. So I learned Sanskrit from a person in Noida. He was a very orthodox person. সকালবেলায় 5টার সময় ঘুম থেকে উঠে যেতে হতো. But I used to go and used to learn. Then I realized that Bhattacharjee Institute, the Mahabharata that they had published, we call it the critical edition, the true copy. It's pretty tough, and we started consulting the translations by Buetnin from Columbia University, the translations by Bibek Debroy, so, and of course Haridas Siddhanto Bagish in Bengali. And then gradually I made 2-3 small stories of Mahabharata. And somehow one of the stories had been published in a Bengali daily called Ei Shomoy. It's a group by Times of India. And somehow Penguin Publishing House, their like editor, the consignee editor, they had encountered with that small story, and they approached me for this graphic novel series.
Obviously, I always wanted to be associated with illustrations, painting, designing since I was a kid. But my career started very randomly, and I have always said this everywhere. Tathagato and I have been friends since we were in college. I used to participate in a lot of co-curricular activities or extracurricular activities in different colleges in the city. And fortunately or unfortunately, I used to win awards everywhere. And Tathagato and his friends were making a lot of movies for their college projects at that point of time. And I was randomly discussing with him that I had always been a huge fan of illustration posters. And somehow I felt that we were losing the charm of it, or we were not making it enough to make it survive. What we were mostly doing is like the digital or the manipulative one using Photoshop or any other software around. And this came in me while I was going through a lot of posters. Those are designed by Satyajit Ray. I'd always been a huge admirer of his illustrations, his artworks. So that somehow inspired me to take up this as a challenge and to revive the medium. So going back to how I started, I was discussing with him that if you are making a film, probably I would try a poster that would be hand-drawn. If you like it, you can release it. So he didn't tell me anything at that point of time. He just told me that send me one of the artworks which goes with the film. And he was supposed to submit it for his college fest or something, probably. And so at one point of time, I saw his film and I made something for him. I sent to him and he did not reply. I thought simply that he didn't like it. That's why he was avoiding. But once I returned home, I saw a whole bunch of notifications flooding on social media account, and he has already posted it, released it, and people were constantly giving feedbacks on it. So then people started asking me to work in films. And till then, I didn't have a team with me. But once film offers started pouring in, I thought it's high time that I should have a team of mine. Because working for film is a different ballgame altogether. You need a big team to send all the things required. And deadline is very important when you are working for a film. Because it's just not about designing posters. There are other collaterals that are associated with it, and it's very difficult. So then I decided that it's high time that I build my company. I want to work with people of like-minded and who wants to be completely dedicated to designing. And since then, Ekta Creative Till started. Right now, we have worked in, as I said, it's more than almost 4,000 projects, regionally, nationally, and of course, internationally.
The one thing which remains constant and will remain constant throughout the history of media is storytelling. It will never die. It's all about story, and story. Yeah. So even if you take right at when we didn't even had cinema, or then we didn't even have animation, there was story, there was theater, there was drama, there was nautanki, there was books, stories which were like in terms of mythology or whatever. But story will never die. So your technology may increase or decrease or evolve and get into different genres, but what we will not be able to change is the story. So that's what I say. And you being student, you will have to also realize that, focus more on the story. Your technology will change. Don't get into the, illusion of, I want to be with the children. Yes, technology is important. It's just a tool by which you can, realize what you have to say. And that's what I would say, like story will never die.
If we talk about the total industry, that like the app development, gaming industry, so in this decade, I would say from 2010 to 2020, mostly we are moving to like mobile and cloud gaming kind of thing. So what I meant is we are happy, we have a lot of computational power in our hand right now as a mobile phone. So, and because of that, all the game developers and the big companies, they are actually focusing on mobile gaming, and it's a very good way of improving the industry also, because like earlier what we did is, like in my childhood also, we have played a lot of games without paying any money to the companies. Right now we have, like, for the different gaming companies, we have several monetization policies, like in-app purchases, and like you can actually like charge upfront, and you can also put some advertisement. Based on that, you can actually improve their levels and all. So in the last 5 years, I would say the computational power actually increased a lot, and we understood that we cannot actually charge like users upfront. From a business perspective, we can actually make them fall for the game, and then we can actually eventually monetize, and we can actually like be profitable in that particular game. Now, problem with like right now, we have actually a very good thing that is artificial intelligence, and based out of that, we have a lot of data. We are actually like understanding each user in a separate way, and we are trying to personalize the gaming or the experience based on their behavior. So in the future also, I would say this kind of things will improve, and obviously the graphics and all that is actually like we are making right now. AI will have big impact on that, because of I think like there's a lot of tools also available right now. Adobe is also working on a project called Firefly, and there are Mid Journeys and all. So these kind of things will impact a lot in the upcoming days.